All right, let's dive into a story that's truly cosmic. It's woven right from the verses of the Quran, a story all about perfect opposites, a trial that defines our entire universe, and the ultimate journey back to oneness. And it all kicks off with one verse that really sets the stage for everything. So, this one verse, it basically lays out the entire blueprint for reality. The universe is built on these perfect dualities, right? First and last, manifest and hidden. Everything has its opposite, all held in this incredible balance, and it all comes from a single, all-knowing source. But wait a second. That brings up a really deep question. I mean, really think about it. If the very source of everything is defined as all-knowing, what quality just can't have an equal and opposite version of itself within that divine essence? Yep, it's ignorance. By its very definition, the all-knowing can't contain the one thing it's not. It just doesn't compute. So if ignorance has no home in the divine, where on earth does it go? Well, it gets placed right into creation, and that becomes the fundamental test of our existence. So in this view, ignorance isn't just some vague evil force. No, it's the core mechanism of our test. It's the resistance we push against to grow and really show what we're made of. Okay, so this idea of ignorance is pretty abstract, right? How does it actually show up in the world? Well, according to this narrative, it takes on two very powerful archetypal forms. First up, you've got the archetype of Iblis. He's described as being made from a fire that has no guidance. His whole rebellion is seen as a kind of ignorance as energy. It's chaotic, it's arrogant, it judges by what's on the surface. And on the other side, you have the archetype of Pharaoh. His tyranny, his claim to be God, that represents ignorance as density. It's heavy, it's materialistic, it refuses to budge. So you have these two forces, wave-like chaos and stone-like oppression, that become the two great shadows in our world. But of course, these shadows can't just exist in a vacuum, right? There has to be a balance. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So to counter these two huge shadows, we're told that two corresponding lights were sent into the world. First, there's Yahya, who you might know as John the Baptist. He represents this incredibly pure, stabilizing force, a seed of perfect alignment with the divine, someone given wisdom and piety even as a child. And then you have Isa, or Jesus. He is the active force. He's the knowledge, the word of light made real, and he builds on that very foundation of purity that Yahya established. And what's so cool is that there's this heavenly equation, this clear progression at play. See, purity is the necessary foundation. It prepares the way for the light. That light then becomes the word, just like with Isa. And finally, that word becomes a direct, actionable command, clear guidance for all of us. It's a perfect flow from foundation to action. Now this is a game changer. The Quran completely flips the script on what family really means. It says it's not about your bloodline, it's about your spiritual alignment, your frequency, you could say. Noah's son isn't counted as family because his actions put him on a totally different wavelength. Abraham's own father is considered an enemy. The message is clear. True nobility, your real family, is defined by righteousness and righteousness alone. Okay, so let's bring this down from the cosmic level right into our own hearts, because the same principle becomes a universal law that governs every single one of us. And the concept is actually super simple, but wow, it's profound. Every single thing you put out into the world, every action, every intention, it creates a wave. And that wave, just like a boomerang, is guaranteed to come right back to you, the source. And this isn't just a nice idea. The Quran lays it out crystal clear. This isn't about some external scorekeeper. The consequence is literally built into the action. The good you do, it's for you. And the harm you cause, ultimately, you're only doing it to yourself. And it goes even deeper than just actions. It's about intent too. Any negative plot you hatch, any evil scheme. The verse says it envelops you, the author. It's like you're wrapping yourself in the very negativity you created. There's just no escaping the energy you put out. And just think about the precision here. We're not talking about big dramatic deeds. We're talking about an atom's weight. Nothing, absolutely nothing, gets lost in the shuffle. The accounting is perfect, and sooner or later, you will see the results of everything you've done. So what does this mean for the concept of hell or the fire? Well, this completely reframes it.
It's not presented as some external torture chamber. Instead, it's the soul finally coming face to face with the collapsed, distorted wave of its own negative actions. It is, in essence, you meeting the consequences of you.
Okay, so if this law of return is so absolute, like a cosmic law of physics, is there any way out? Is there anything that can interrupt this cycle? The answer is yes, but only one thing.
It's divine mercy. It's presented as literally the only force in the entire cosmos powerful enough to intervene in this perfect, self-correcting system of cause and effect. When there is no other help, only the most merciful can step in.
And there's this beautiful metaphor for how it works, drawn from the story of Abraham being thrown into the fire. The command came down, be coolness and peace. In that exact same way, mercy acts like a cooling field. It doesn't pretend the fire of bad deeds isn't there. It dissolves its heat, neutralizing that returning wave before it has a chance to burn you.
Which brings us to the grand finale. How does this whole cosmic drama, all the shadows and light, the actions and mercy, how does it all wrap up? Well, it ends exactly where it began. Simple. It's a cycle. The whole universe is on a round trip. It unfolded from a single point, and it's destined to fold right back in on itself. The entire story, with all of its characters and tests, is just one grand return journey. And so you can see the entire arc, the whole progression, laid out right here. It all begins with purity. That allows for light. The light becomes the word becomes the command. And the fulfillment of that command, the completion of the whole cycle, is peace. And that brings us back full circle to that radical, powerful idea we talked about earlier. In this grand cosmic story, the thing that truly connects us, the thing that defines our ultimate family and our final home, it has nothing to do with the blood in our veins. It's about the righteousness in our hearts.